Hello, this is Brian the Practical Gardener. It's about the end of April, and the plants that I started from seeds indoors and acclimated them outdoors are now ready to put in the ground. Each year I add potting soil to the ground, and this potting soil usually has humus and good organic materials to give nutrition to the plants, as well as perlite and wood materials to promote good drainage. In addition, I'll add bone meal, and this gives a slow release of phosphorus throughout the growing season, and phosphorus helps promote good root growth as well as promoting blossoms. And of course you need blossoms so you can get your vegetables. And also I'll add some slow release fertilizer to give complete nutrition throughout the growing season. Now what I'm going to do is work this stuff into the ground. Now when you plant tomatoes, it's no problems planting the tomato plant a little deeper than the root system. Actually, I'll plant it up to this point here, and the parts that are put into the ground will start growing roots and give the plant even more support. So now, after I planted the tomatoes, I'm going to add weed block, and this weed block you can get at any hardware store or plant nursery. Now what I've done is I laid out the sheets and I've cut slits here. And the great thing about weed block is that, it prevents from the weeds from growing, and you don't have to use any herbicides or anything, and then it also stops the squirrels from digging into the soil. Now for squash, I pretty much do the same things I did for tomatoes and plant it a little bit deeper to give it a little bit more support. Kind of build up the soil around the plant, but not to cover the crown. And then the same thing, I'll lay weed block to prevent any kind of weeds from growing. Now, I'm ready to plant peppers and eggplants. Both plants like good drainage, and because I have heavy clay soil, the best solution for me is to plant them into pots. Now, if you have a raised bed, that's just the same solution. This is the soil that I used last year for the peppers. Now, because it's filled with roots from the previous plant, and it's somewhat rotted, I'm going to go in there and dig and break up the roots, and later on mix in some new soil. Now after mixing in some new soil, some bone meal, and slow release fertilizer, I'm ready to plant in the peppers. Now as you can see, the peppers that I started in the cups here, you can actually plant them up to this level and give them a little extra support. Now with eggplants, you pretty much do the same thing as you did with the peppers. Now because I have two plants here, I'll gently separate them. And I can plant each one a little farther apart.